Okay, this is extra credit for week 6. All right, if you look on Monday, the first question that you have is some of you will work for 2 weeks and they're getting paid at the end of their 2 weeks. So the first week they worked 15 hours, the second week they worked 22 hours, and they're making $8 an hour. So you got to add these up first. That's your total hours worked during the 2 weeks. Multiply by $8 and you'll have your answer. Another question is a percent, and you got to get it as a fraction. Okay, get it in simplest form. To remove a percent sign, we put the number over 100. Percent is always comparing to 100. It's out of 100. Okay, so in this case here, 45% is 45 hundredths. And now reduce that, get it in lowest terms, and you have it. Here is a situation where this line is a straight line, which is 180 degrees. So if we know that this angle here is 35 degrees, we can take 180, because we know the entire line is 180, and subtract 35 from it, and we'll have this angle right here. So 180 minus 35, okay, is going to give you this angle. The two together make a straight line. Here's an average one. Basketball player scored 20 points in 4 quarters. Okay, they want to know what is their average points per quarter. So we got to go 20 divided by 4, and that will be how many points per quarter that that individual scores. Okay, on Tuesday, the first problem that you have is a groceries type problem, where hamburger was $3.99 a pound, bought 5 pounds of it, and salmon or something was $4.99 a pound, bought 3 pounds of it. How much was the total? You got to do this, multiply this, and then add the two together. Okay, little order of operations. Make sure you multiply first and then add last. Okay, the next problem was one where we went out to dinner. The bill was $67.59. Want to leave a tip of 15%. 15% as a decimal is 0.15. So we got to multiply this amount by 0.15, and that would be a 15% tip. The tax on the bill or on the food was 2.5%. Okay, 2.5% as a decimal. You back your decimal up 2 places to remove a percent sign, so that puts the decimal right here. So now you got the bill, $67.59 times 0.025, and that would be the tax on that bill. All right, we got one where you're looking at a transformation, okay, and it's either a reflection, a rotation, or a translation. And here's kind of what they mean. The way I remember these is a reflection, FL in reflection for a flip. That's if it's flipped, okay. A rotation, which is a turn, so you turn and matches back up. And a translation, which within the word is the SL for a slide. That means it's been slid in position. So maybe you can pick it out now. Another one was a student who took 6 classes, and they want to know what their GPA would be. And an A is worth 4 points, a B is worth 3, a C 2, and a D 1. All right, and what you got to do is find the average. Okay, take their 6 classes, total them up here, and divide by 6, and that would be their GPA on a basic 4-point scale. On Wednesday, you have a problem where you got to use the distributive property. This is the distributive property. We have to multiply both of these numbers by the number on the outside. So this is like 6 times 20 plus, because there's an addition sign here, plus 6 times 5. Okay, that's using the distributive property. Okay, by using the distributive property, quite often you can do problems in your head a little easier. The difference, they're asking for the difference on a problem, that's just subtraction. Okay? Here is one where you have to set it up. You have two different triangles, one's larger than the other, so you've got to use what's called corresponding sides, the same side on the other figure. So where it's 15 on the larger one, on the smaller one that corresponds to the side that's 16, same side on the other one is 16. Okay, on the larger one where it's 9, that corresponds to x on the smaller one. So now if you solve for x using cross multiplication, you got 54 here, 15x here. Okay, so you're going to divide 15 into 54, and obviously 6 is less than 15, so this answer should be less than 9, and kind of proportionally less. So this is 6 is less than half of 15, so your answer should be less than half of 9. Okay, here is a situation where you're drawing marbles out of a bag, okay, and the first draw is there's 15 total marbles, there's 5 of a certain color. Okay, so you draw, let's say, a red one, that's 5 15ths. Okay, so you set that one down. Now there's only 14 marbles in the bag. So the next color that you go to draw, if there's 7 of that color in there, now your probability is 7 14ths, which is a half. So now if you multiply these two together, that's the probability of drawing, the multiple color, red first and then say a blue or whatever the scenario is. So that should help you. If you solve that and reduce it, you'll have your answer. Okay, and on Thursday, you have a situation where you have 8 to the third, that's 8 times 8 times 8. All right, so solve that. Here was a division problem where you got to move your decimal around. Okay, so I moved my decimal 2 places to get it all the way to the right here. So I got to match that here, 2 places, bring it straight up, and now just divide normally. Okay, quadrilateral has 4 sides. 4 sides on a quadrilateral. It's like a quad runner has 4 tires. So when you're picking out a quadrilateral, think 4 sides. And you got one with cells, you got 2 dice that you're rolling, and they want to know how many sample space there are. These are sample space when you make a diagram. You can see there's 6 of them this way, 6 of them this way. So there's a total of 36 sample spaces. So in other words, if you roll a 1 and a 1, that's what would go here, a 1 and a 1. If you roll a 2 first and then a 1, that would go here, and so on. Those are sample spaces, right? So your answer to that one, by the way, is just 36. So there's 36 sample spaces. All right, hopefully that was helpful. Good luck.